things, and his interior designer, his contractor, they've all been through here. They're very, very serious about what they want to do here. And really, now it's up to the board. At this point, it's up to the board, and we represent 28% of the board here in Ivory. I've heard that there's another 28% that are ready to move it into attorneys, and I have. Yeah, we have one with the restaurant attorney. They're reviewing the restaurant contract. However, the homeowner's attorney has to review the homeowners, all the, I guess, the verbiage and everything that we have with our homeowners declarations and bylaws and covenants. There's verbiage in there that says that we cannot lease out common property. And this common property that we're talking about is this building. Now, they did something several years ago, and hopefully you guys can help me with this, because I've been here 9 or 10 months. I'm glad to see some past board members come in, maybe they can help me. But this was already a different entity. Vince, do you remember, I hate to put you on the spot, do you remember why this was a different entity?
I just walked in while you were stating the question.
Okay, I'm introducing everyone to where we're at. Right? Go ahead, Paul, maybe you know.
Well, it wasn't owned by the HOA. It was owned by the county up until 2016.
I can't.
That's when the HOA purchased it.
Yeah,
So,
The HOA purchased this building in
2016. Well, they purchased it in Hawaii, including the tennis court.
okay, but was it put it under its own entity, like TYC and LLC and liquor license and everything went to that LLC?
yes, they did.
Okay. Because of that, I'm hoping that the HOA attorney can put a lease together for that entity or another entity so that the community would not own it.
Or a use agreement.
Well, we would have a use agreement, CLCA would have a use agreement with this entity,
Right.
and there would be a management agreement to whoever comes in here and leases it from that entity. They would be able to lease it. The entity would be able to lease it to whoever might want to occupy this facility.
I don't know the legal aspect.
But that's what we're talking about. That's, yeah, Kathy.
It's my understanding that when we wanted to do a restaurant here, and this is fuzzy, so feel free to step in and correct me, but because we are a non-profit entity, they had to come up with another entity, and I don't know if it was called 501c or the Landing LLC, but that was created on the side, okay, in order for us to be able to do a for-profit business. However, nobody voted on that. I mean, that was just created. That wasn't in our bylaws, so it was a big workaround as far as I'm concerned. So if they can work it around that way, I don't see why we can't do another workaround now.
Well, that's common for nonprofits.
Yeah.
It's common
To do a
separate profit making.
Right.
It's create arm's length.
Go ahead.
Well,
We can't hear you.
I just said that it's common for nonprofits when they need or want to do a profit-making enterprise to create an LLC as an arm's length entity and run all of the decision-making on the business through that entity. Because it is against the law for a nonprofit to take cash. That's not a donation type thing, for sales. Right, so. Depending on what money.
So how was it done with Kepler? How did Kepler got it here?
Well, you know, a lot of people, I know I'm guilty. I break the law when I speak. So if I don't get caught and I speak, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe we've been breaking the law. I don't know if we have or not. That's why I'm asking people that's been on the board previously. You know, what do they know?
And why did we buy the place to start with if we cannot do that?
Yeah, that's all water. That's all water down
Under the bridge.
But let's make sure we don't cross that bridge again.
I agree.
That the members have an opportunity to speak out
whenever multi-million-dollar purchases are going to be considered or made. That needs to be changed in our covenants.
Right.
And that's why we're here, guys. That's why we're here. That is the reason we're here as a community.
They run a business and make money. It was, that's why they created it. That's why they created it.
His name is Chandlers
What the board, after that first board did with the LLC, I have no idea.
Was that from the Lewis?
No, that's before. That's, Allura rented from somebody else.
Yeah, all the previous activities that's gone on here has not been successful. So what we're attempting to do is make this successful going forward. And to do that, we don't need to look in the rearview mirror because that's a bunch of carnage behind us, as far as I'm concerned. So we need to look positive, we need to look forward to this. And the only reason, like Kathy said, we don't want to go across the same bridge again. So we want to make sure we don't double back and do any of the same things we've done in the past. If there's an entity out there, Vince, you might know if there's an entity out there, then maybe we can straighten that entity up and use it, or maybe we need to form another entity. I'm not sure, but that's why we need to talk to the homeowners association attorney and to decide, because the homeowners associations they're very specific in law. It's not like you go talk to one of the neighborhood attorneys around here to find out what's happening. So that's why my understanding, that's why we use this homeowners association firm. That's their specialty. So go ahead, Vince. What were you going to say?
I'm just going to look at, there's a few past members that, for a better term, I'm friendly with, and I don't want to even say any names, but if you have questions that you could say, what about this, what about that, and they were a couple, 3 boards back, and they have good credentials, we might be able to get some understanding, and it's free understanding, at least give us some direction, some of the questions we should ask. So if you want to get with me, I could probably do a 3-way call, and that may give us a little more road to ride on.
The liquor license is under the landing at Chandlers LLC.
But some of the questions you were asking from the past, they may have some good or better term knowledge, and they may not want their names said or anything like that, but we can give them some direction at least at the end of the conversation.
Well, so, I do know that each day we push back, like I've been talking with these guys at Jordan's, for Jordan Carson, those folks have been good. I mean, I haven't seen Jordan, he just got married, but the other people he's got working for him, they've all been in here, talked to a lot of them, and they're ready. I mean, they said, they originally said they could get in here by the 1st of June, but after they brought their interior people in and their contractor in and everything, they said they're looking more like the end of June. But that's based on us starting now. So each day we push it back, it gets pushed back. At end of June becomes 1st of July, becomes end of July, so it keeps pushing back.
Look at, we got a good person right here that could take over and run with it, and we've been sitting on our hands. How many folks know people that could say, I'm going to take this 20,000 square foot and do something with it and work with us? We're going to keep dragging our feet, and they're going to be like,
Agreed.
so I've seen it happen. I'm in the sales world. If it's not easy, they're going to say, hey, I got another project up here in Fate, and I can put my resources.
Yes, do we have anything to lose? Do we have anything to lose?
Will you hand your mic to her so
Sure,
we can hear?
So looking at the universal part of this instead of specific details, got an HOA lawyer looking at this now, looking at the bylaws now to see where we don't stumble so we don't commit errors from the past.
That
When
lawyer,
is that attorney going to report back? When is that going to happen?
well, that attorney is directed to talk to the president of our association. So the president of the association reports to that firm. So that the finances and everything are kept straight. That's the way it's lined up at this moment. I mean,
But are you the point person?
no,
Okay. Our president is?
that's correct.
How, and what's his action plan?
He's talking to lawyers to see if we can legally lease the property.
Does he have 20-pound weights on his foot?
Yeah, inaction is his action.
So there is,
I mean,
so
I'm
there
just asking questions.
so there is a meeting Saturday
The mothership was coming. You ever see that?
of the board, is that correct?
The one now?
There's a meeting Saturday morning of the board.
That's correct, for the whole community.
And for the whole community. So then we need the numbers there to be able to say, we want this clarified, we want it transparent, we want answers to our questions, which we seem to not be able to get.
Well, I would like to have their LOI. They have an LOI in there. It's a management agreement. I would like to have that into that homeowner's attorney before Saturday. Then it would be a moot point. And that's because an attorney's not going to turn around and get it back to us the next day.
So who is writing the LOI?
It's already been written.
It's already been
George's
written.
group. Yeah.
And so then it needs to be handed in to
Well,
them.
each one of us has been provided an electronic copy of that for us to make our remarks on. I made my remarks on it, and I asked all the other ones to do the same. So it's up to them to send it and go forth with this email thread.
And they need to be held accountable.
And in the meantime, this could be in an attorney's hands also with our suggestions, so that somebody might miss something. I've got a lot of experiences, and Julie's got a lot of experience. Everybody's got their experiences, and we're listening to all y'all. Y'all got
There's no
experiences.
doubt that networking is very positive. There's very good. So,
I'm
all
sorry.
right, that, I'm finished.
Oh,
That's me. Yeah.
Anybody else have
Go
something?
ahead, Sonny.
So what you're saying is the president of the board, Greg DeMars, is the one that's driving this. He's got to be the one to get us off of.
He's got to get this to the
Right.
HOA attorney firm.
Right, so he's got to do it. And if he chooses to just sit on it, we're just stuck. Is that it?
As long as they're not looking at it, they don't know there's anything to look at here.
Why isn't he here tonight? I don't have his number, you can give him a call. I think we could all speak to him.
There's a group, and everybody in the neighborhood knows there's a group in the neighborhood that thinks we're a vocal minority. That's what I read. Does anybody think otherwise? I mean,
No, a vocal minority? That is not my experience with my neighbors, talking to the people around me at all. We are vocal, but we are not a minority in terms of saying that.
let's say it another way then. There's an opposing viewpoint for what we're talking about here.
And it doesn't want to place it all?
I don't know, that's what I'm saying.
They won't say anything.
They won't say, we're kind of loggered right now.
There is a word they're saying. There is a word. Due diligence.
Oh, yeah. Due diligence. Due diligence.
Greg responded on the forum that they were doing their due diligence and they were looking at other options. We've been looking at other options for the last 1, 2, maybe 3 board meetings. I think we need to ask that at the meeting Saturday, what are the other options?
We have listened to the Falcon Group as a board, and we specifically listened to them last week, and again, it was going to be toward the end of the week, they had an LOI coming in.
Okay.
But we have not seen
You
that
have not
LOI
seen
yet.
anything, have you? Okay. And does he understand that now we were forced in this position to be shareholders of this entity? So it's not like before when we were just residents going to board meetings. Now we own a part of this. And like stockholders in a company, we do have a say in what should be done. And it doesn't either needs to tell us what the game plan is, who they're looking at, what is the time frame.
One thing to consider here is we do have, right now, we do have money that's growing in a bank account, and we haven't had that in a long, long time, because we're not spending any money. So as long as we don't spend any money, part of the due diligence, and this has not been discussed. all we can do is just talk about this. That's why we're here tonight. And that money continues to grow. And if this keeps getting pushed back, that bank account will grow. So maybe that, but no one will say that. Because that's not something we want to hear.
Greg has said that during one of the meetings. Greg said, we are getting income coming in here, so we don't have to make a reactive move. He said that, and I can't remember if it was a board meeting, one of the meetings, he said, we're not in any big hurry because we have the money to survive.
That's correct. That's why I said what I said. We're $400,000 or $500,000 in the bank right now.
Yeah, but you know what, we want the immunity that we are paying, that we care for, you know, okay, do we want the bank to, you know, the bank accounts grow in, lose once, congratulate us, that's great. But I think we're at this point now, we're like, well, hey, that we want our immunity.
Well, and from my perspective,
If we're not getting the rental income they would be paying, we are losing them.
yeah, because that's what I was about to say. My field of expertise is construction. There's other people's field of expertise in here that's construction. I look at things like, you watch these gutters right here and it rains, the water goes over and it's washing the foundation out from underneath the concrete. Because all the water dumps right here and there happens to be a storm drain inlet right over here. So if we were to redirect that water and go down, it would quit washing that out. But I ask everyone here to walk down there and look between that expansion joint, and you'll see a big void, just like the void that I cleaned up here in December and January. And it cost lots of money because we had to have 2 truckloads of dirt hauled in to fill up that hole.
So that's where the money might go.
Well, the longer we defer this, the longer we don't bring money in here to put it back into our facility here, the more it's going to cost us.
So we don't have to pay more use.
So they can have a conversation.
Well, I hope not.
Right, they give us money.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're not putting money in this place.
Well, they're going to start paying the minute they start. No, well, now wait. Let me put a little asterisk on that. They're going to need a kitchen. They are going to need a kitchen in there. And they're not going to buy a kitchen for us.
What happened to the kitchen we had?
Oh, go look at it.
Not anything you can serve out. The health department's got us chained up. The kitchen's chained up right now.
We spent $5 million.
This is not fair to everybody else. We can't hear you.
Something else, something else.
All I'm saying, we put $5 million.
Put the mic to your mouth. Put it to your mouth.
Well, I said we put $5 million in place, we don't have a kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just out there.
Yeah, but that was several years ago. In the kitchen, the health department they do periodic health inspections. And if you do not meet that, they make you fix it. And you have to fix it. So, right there, James has a list of everything they wanted fixed. And that's because the people, Kemper, whoever operated it, didn't take care of it as they went and did their business. Just like any restaurant you go into, they have to fix the kitchen.
No, it's.
Kemper didn't, so it left it on us.
My question would be, you said really quickly that there's no way they would pay to fix the kitchen.
I didn't say there's no way.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, I don't mean anything like that, but why can't that be part of our negotiations? Because any restaurant I've ever been a part of or known people that were a part of, the people that come in, like if I go and rent a space down by Tom Plum and I want to open a Mexican restaurant, they don't put a kitchen in there. The people that come in make those improvements. That is their responsibility.
How fast do you want it to open? You want it to open fast?
If they're going to put a $100,000 kitchen, they can wait a couple months. Like, I'm just curious if that was just. It just seemed like that was really.
But the health department said if you don't get the things I want done, then we're eventually just going to shut the building.
Yeah, right now the building's open. James is very familiar with what we've been doing with the health department and making that work and everything. And we're wanting this thing to move along. And Jordan's group's all for we are negotiating. but we can't negotiate because we haven't even responded to an LOI. So, you know, we need to respond, we need communication going on, and we need that. And I've been on this for 2 months. Everybody remembers me 2 months ago this past Saturday.
Y'all got it figured out, man.
I don't have it figured out.
I just felt like it got this really quickly. If this is something that's been figured out, I don't, you know, we don't have to waste the time.
Well, it's not like we're buying kitchen equipment, we have to clean the floors. And then we have to make it, seal the floors.
There's ceiling,
And
there's
then the wall.
ceiling
And
that
then
has to be taken care of, there's a wall that has to be taken care of. There's money that has to be spent, probably $30,000 or $40,000, but her and I cannot make that decision to spend that money. We have to be talking, and when we go to a meeting, it's about talking to Falcon Group's people to try to sell us on finding tenancy for this.
Well, how do we bring something like that to a vote then? Like, is there anything as a community, you say you want to push this along, let's go over here and talk about it. What can we do to help?
Talk to your fellow board members.
What's
2
the
of us
vote?
are right here. 2 of us are right here.
What's the vote right now? If you were to guess, what's the vote right now?
Maybe 4. Maybe 4. We have to have a quorum.
That's enough.
You have to have a majority, that's 4. We may have 4 now.
So,
But we gotta get together to have that vote. Or put an e-vote. I put e-votes together. I put an e-vote, my first thought would be to get that roof completed. And I was told that my proposal wouldn't work. It wouldn't work, we need to have experts to look at it. But, you know, I'm not gonna argue with it. I don't argue with it. I mean, and I gave them a picture of mine. Everybody's welcome to go down Langer and look at mine, and I was told it looked like a carpet, so.
It's kind of dumb.
When is the vote? When should open the vote?
Yeah.
There's nothing to vote on.
I like this one.
It's a flat roof.
You have to make a motion.
Where it is, how you make a
I
vote?
guess you don't care what
When
you
is
don't.
the motion?
So if you're coming over,
All of you
second
agree.
degree.
Reflected it.
I can make it, I don't mind making a motion again, but I want it to be ready to go forward when I make the motion. If I make the motion, a motion to
Finalize the contract?
pass it to the pass it to the attorneys, get it through, get that going, and give every board member here 3 days to give me a response to that electronic contract they have.
Whether they're saying yes to, or then what?
And then it goes to lawyers, and then they get their place about 30 days.
They really should.
Why can't we have a deadline for the bids? Like, it feels like we're all over the place. Like, is there not a deadline? Hey, you have 2 people bidding on this basically, right? One group wants this place, the other group one group wants this place. Why can't we say, okay, by in 45 days, all bids, proposals have to be submitted, those go to the lawyers, and whoever wins.
Yeah, but he said the board has to.
Okay, right now, where we're at with this, to answer your question, where we're at with this, we've been doing a lot of talking, but nobody else is saying anything. Is that right or wrong? Is that what it is?
That's called
So it'd be like y'all talking to some of them and them not saying anything.
Wait.
Go ahead, Mark.
Specify who's talking to who and who's not talking. Are you talking about fellow board
I'm
members?
putting emails out and I'm not getting any response.
To the board.
Yeah, that's to the board.
So you and Julie are talking and nobody's talking to you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right? Who said that?
Is that a question, Mark?
Yes. Is that what?
Question?
What you're saying is that you and Julie are talking, but nobody's talking to you.
I'm asking, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? And I get obstruction back, and how can we do it then? I don't get the discussion to get it to move forward.
So they're not cooperating at all.
Well, I mean, I'm telling you exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it sounds to me like they're not.
Well, that's an assumption you're making, and I don't like to make assumptions. That's why I won't tell you.
And you can't say it's Rick and Julie.
You just stood there and said it, like, how am I supposed to, that's not making an assumption, that's basically what I'm taking from what you just said.
What are you taking?
They're saying they're still doing their due diligence, is what they're saying. That's why it they're using that as passion to just not do anything at this point. But, yeah, they want another company, and I think y'all know the
You
founder,
guys
to
are amazing.
come in.
The fact that you come here to show up and you stand up.
Believe me, it's hard sometimes.
And we're not very nice because, and you're standing there taking
Very
it.
frustrating.
And I commend you. I absolutely commend you. I mean, round of applause, you guys.
Yeah, go ahead. Where's the microphone?
My question is simple.
So we'll send it back.
Who is the HOA lawyer that y'all are using? Or the divorce?
I got one of them, and he's got a German last
Give me
name.
It's a firm.
Do you know who they are, Mark?
The name slips me. It's a firm.
Yeah, it's a.
Like Riddle and Williams?
firm.
But is it Riddle and Williams? It
That sounds
is?
Yeah,
familiar.
Whitman Williams.
Is it Grant Nick? Is his first name Grant? Is the lawyer's first name Grant?
One of them. It's a firm, so.
It's Riddle and Williams.
One of them that's handled some of the things I've been involved in. His first name is Grant.
Yeah, I've worked with Grant. And my second question is, and I mean, this is actually just a response because I've really been involved in a lot in the round tables. I've been to like a couple in the Saturday meeting. So I think that for a lot of the homeowners, we just don't really understand what the dynamics of the board is currently. What are currently. Like, where is it at an impasse? Is there a lack of cooperation? Why?
No, they're asking for time. They're asking for time.
But what are they doing?
But due diligence generally means inspecting the books and records and legal documents that are
Well,
agreed upon.
they're talking with this Falcon Group, and Falcon Group is bringing people in to tour the building, and they're waiting on LOIs. It's almost like if you were selling your home, and somebody, oh, I want this house, here, I'm gonna offer you this. And you say, well,
But
and
it-
then
But on
they're
that
gonna bring
gentleman over there,
three or four
there
people in.
should be a deadline. Like I mean, we have like an amazing property here. In my opinion, the very best property in Rockwall for a restaurant. And we need to market it, have a deadline for offers, and move forward. That's my suggestion.
Or not doing?
And finding entities and stuff, that's not hard. I mean, I can get, the Secretary of State, get back to y'all with entities that are involved in this
Excuse me.
very quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody wants to lease it.
Yeah. Hello?
Okay, I don't know how many people read this week, but a group of us wrote a letter for the town square. I didn't bring it tonight. I thought maybe everybody had probably read that, but I did bring a form that we could sign a petition. I mean, that's kind of the last thing we can do. We've done everything we thought we could do. We've written letters. We've posted on town square. We've talked to them. So I do have 2 petitions to sign around tonight. I mean, that doesn't sound like a lot, but if we can get the more names on it.
Well, anything we can do to get everybody working together. I'm about this community working together. I mean, I really am.
We appreciate it, but what is the hold up? We've got a great firm. They'll come in and do whatever they need. We've got a good chef.
Yeah, the chef was out here last week too. So.
Okay, so can we start the petitions around?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean,
Okay.
I'm a moderator. I know I get vocal because I've got more invested here, more of my time. But whatever we can do to get things moving and working together. I mean, it's about working together. I'm not one to argue.
Okay, is the board even listen to us residents?
Or they just poo-poo it.
Or they just talking, and whatever they
Yeah,
want?
I can't hear you. Just put it to your mouth.
Is the board even listening to the residents? To us?
Doesn't sound like it.
Obviously, no.
Not at this point.
I can't answer that. I mean, I listen to you guys.
We talking we are giving suggestions, these people, there is lots of people who knows about business. And it's like, whatever.
What is it about the Falcon Group that they like over Christie's?
They feel like, go ahead and ask them again, please.
Yeah, I was just asking what they like about the Falcon Group above Christie's, that they keep pushing for the Falcon.
The lady that's over this has 10 years experience. She's dealt with restaurant agreements before. She knows what to look for, whereas no one on this board probably knows what to look for. So she's looking at it.
Who is she? Somebody from the Falcon Group?
And she's gonna get
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah, she's an agent.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
gonna
she's
get
an
paid.
agent. So, you know, at the end of the day, she will get paid. Now,
Is somebody who lives here locally? Do we know?
no, I don't think she lives here.
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
Well, she's not the broker, she's the agent that works for the broker. So, to answer all that,
Maybe let's go back to leasing.
except for restaurants, they go out and if you've got a big conglomerate of restaurants like Chipotle, and you've got a board of directors, and we want to put a restaurant in Rockwall, they would hire this firm to go find them and negotiate their lease with a landlord. Now, the landlord, the end of the landlord thing, the landlord's got an attorney. That landlord on his property uses that attorney to negotiate the lease with. I found an attorney that's got 40 plus years. His name's David Stubblefield here in Rockwall. He's well known, it sounds like. I mean, he was referred to me from our family's farm in downtown Dallas. So, anyway, that guy.
So the Falcon Group is not a restaurant group that's gonna run a restaurant, they're like a.
It's like a whole little banker.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah, that's it.
And so why haven't they brought us any offers that they've been being considered by the board?
That's what we're waiting on every week. Is well, we're supposed to have one by week's end.
Okay, thank you.
Who's next?
How long do we have that letter of intent?
Well, we started out getting we got a letter of intent offer for a lease several months ago, and we went around with on that intent. That's when I said we need to move forward, and that was in February, third Saturday of February at that meeting. I said we need to move forward with this and start negotiations because we'd already been sitting on it a couple of weeks. So the 1st of February.
That's all the LOIs we've got.
It was for lease, and then we started hearing all this. I put it before James Hobson, one of the main investors of Christie's Group. His dad's a retired USAA attorney. He said, I'll run this by my dad. His dad had experience putting a lease together on a country club in Montana, and that's where the LOI we have now came from.
So is that the only LOI we have?
Yes.
That's correct, and it's a management agreement. It's
So
because I told them we couldn't do a lease, so here you go, here's an LOI for a management.
And you think that we can't do a lease because we're a nonprofit?
HOA rules.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Might be nonprofit, might be a nonprofit.
I'm
I'm
not sure.
not supposed to lease the
Common property.
amenities,
The common property.
but we have leased the tennis courts.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But that was before we owned them. That lease was signed well before we bought the property.
But it isn't renewed every couple years.
I think it's a 10-year lease. I don't.
Yeah, it's up in 4 years. December, 4 years left. And we really need some money to go and erosion control around those.
It was the lease was signed before
You go
we
out
bought
there and
it.
see it.
So when did you
So essentially, I guess we bought the lease.
sort of.
I have a couple of questions, and just so that I can get some clarification. This Falcon Group we're dealing with, was there a board vote to contract with this Falcon Group?
No.
Then why is the board putting up with, tolerating, entertaining conversation with the Falcon Group if there's been no contract to hire them, to enlist them, and we have a letter of intent with another company? What makes the board obligated to deal with that company?
And also, if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I think we were told that, I don't even know who it was that even approached them. They won't fess up about it. You might know now, but a few weeks ago, they were saying, we don't know who approached Falcon Group. Somebody did.
Well, it came out in some of the meetings, the conversation started in October.
A resident did that.
The resident started in October.
A resident knows him. Knows Falcon.
Okay, so I want to go back to the question. If there has been no agreement to contract with this company, and I just heard you say that these people are going to be paid. So not only have we not contracted with them.
No, I did not say they were going to be paid. I said they're asking to be paid.
Okay. We don't have a contract with them.
No.
But but there are board members that are holding up this process.
That is correct.
Because they're working with a company that the board has not agreed to work with, correct?
No, they haven't agreed to anything.
Yeah, that's
Is
correct.
that correct?
What this is absolutely, this is outrageous.
What can we do?
Okay, I'm there. So now my question is, as a board member, I'm asking you as a board member, me as a resident, I'm asking you to go to the board, I'm asking Julie to go to the board, and as a board member, and cease and desist working with the company, that there is no contractual agreement. We have no purpose in working with them. They haven't brought anything forward that you can work with. There's no letter of intent.
There's no deadline.
Excuse me. I'll hand this over to you in a second. I promise.
Oh, I did get it, before I lose my train of thought.
I'm asking you, I'm also asking you to make a motion and call for a vote to move forward with the Christie Group. If you
I don't
think-
have a problem with that, Stacy.
If you think you've got 4 out of 7 votes, I believe that we're just gonna continue talking around this and talking around this and talking around this, and not, I think that you've got to cease and desist with a company that has not been contracted with, and you've got to move forward with the proposals that you've got on the table.
Do they notice?
Thank you. I apologize, I didn't mean to jump in there, I got a little excited about adding to her list. What if the approach to the people that are still resistant to going with Christie is to ask them, what do we have to lose? Because if we wait, we know what we're going to lose if we lose them. If we wait too long, we're going to risk losing them. I'm just presenting what we might want to say to the other members that aren't as convinced as some of you are. What do we got to lose? And that if there's something we would be losing horrifically, if Christie came in for a year, failed miserably, what's the worst scenario for us?
Oh, there's a huge scenario for that.
Well, tell me what it is. Because if there is, then maybe we are being prudent by waiting. But my feeling is, it doesn't sound like anybody's wanting to wait.
Why is there a big problem with that? Because if they go out of business, it's gonna cost us a penny.
That's right, and we'll get a fixed up kitchen.
And money in the bank.
And money in the bank.
And money in the bank.
And we give it to time.
My background is leasehold management. For 28 years, I ran businesses for big entities. If you have a company that comes in and fails miserably in a year, finding another company to come in after that would be nearly, if not.
Okay, but wait, and there's been 20 people that failed here already? And then someone's still willing to try.
Wait, can you say
Hang on a
that
second,
again?
Julie, let's hear what she's got to say so we can move on.
Yeah.
If we get this back and forth, we'll be here all night.
Yeah, but wait a minute, I want to hear the the last part of what you said, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, go ahead, Stacy, so you can relinquish to someone else.
Anybody else?
I'm glad to do that now.
No, I really want to know what you're saying, Stace. So you said, if they do fail miserably, whoever is going to come next, and I didn't quite correct that.
If they fail miserably, it's going to be a multitude of reasons. One of the reasons would be the contract was not beneficial to both parties. We can't just have a contract that's only beneficial to Chandlers Landing. It has to be a partnership. We have to have a partnership. We can't just turn it over to a company and say, here you go, do the best you can, pay us our money, and if you fail, you fail. That's not how this works. It has to be a partnership. If it is a true partnership, and we as Chandlers Landing are doing our part, and they still fail, it will be more difficult. I won't use the word impossible. It will be more difficult to present this to another restaurant company.
We run that risk with anybody we go with.
I'm sorry.
We run that risk with anyone we go with.
We absolutely do run that risk, but to say that we just need to, I don't think we're jumping into it. I'm the one that said I think we need to move forward, but I am saying to take the attitude, this cavalier attitude.
Let me take over and give you a little more information. James Hoffman,
Two directions.
he's got lots of money. I've seen his financials. He asked that I not share it anymore. He's got lots of money. Jordan got lots of money. And they've got two other people. And the people they work with, and I'm talking about construction, from putting the place together, from the kitchen on out. I've worked with these people for lots of years around Dallas. They're all through downtown. They're on Botham Jean. They're everywhere. They're over in Fort Worth. They know what they're doing. And I asked them, I vetted these guys with them, and they said they're strong, they're stout. They got a new restaurant out on the north side. It's called, help me out.
Dudley's?
Dudley's, thank you. They got Dudley's. They've got Christie's. Everybody heard Christie's down. That's packed out. I tried to go there one Saturday and couldn't get in. So.
Do they need a loss leader?
Do they need a loss? They're willing to put money into this one. I know that.
Is there another one going around?
Yeah, two of them.
Oh, please.
They got a year's worth. I mean, they already said they got a year's worth. We're starting out helping them. To answer your question, the lease is in their favor, so we don't get rid of it.
Let me give you another one.
And after a year,
My signature's right on it. No, they're just sent but that too, so I don't know if they have two exactly the same, right? Or it's like.
well, that's some of the due diligence they've been doing. They brought insurance people in here to find out what their insurance is going to be. That's what I've been telling our folks. We need to come back, and we finally, they came back. They came back and gave us a better offer than the first because they were trying to lowball the first. And I said, y'all need to probably do a better job on your LOI. So they did, and I told them about the management thing. They came back and they made it very attractive. They made it right in line with what everybody around here has been talking about. But I never said anything to anybody to this day. So
did you sign this one?
that's where we're at on offer, and everybody's working together. We're working with them. They're trying to work with us.
Yeah, right
I
here.
spent
Yeah.
3 hours with them yesterday. I spent 3 hours in here with them on Friday. I've been spending a lot of time in here with them, and I'm pretty good at sniffing things out because I've been doing this for over 50 years.
So part of the problem that I'm seeing here is we don't have anything to compare this to. How do we either get, like, the whole thing I'm taking this is we need a deadline or we need the other side of this story. How do we get, because I said through the last meeting, I know why everybody's frustrated, but you keep getting told we're negotiating the secret, we can't tell you guys anything. So how do we get to something to compare this to? Because I think there was a good point that she brought up. Maybe we are waiting on something greater. Maybe this next company is offering 3-4 times the amount of rent, but we have nothing to compare it to right now. So how do we know? And no, I'm asking as a board member, how do we get this? How do we get there?
Transparency.
Yeah, give us the resources to get where we want to go. Like as a board member or as a board,
We need LOI.
is there a motion we can bring forth as a community? Is there you get 3/4 boards of vote? Like, how do we get
We
this
need
information?
letter of intent. We need letter of intent. That's all we need, letter of intent. We've been 3 or 4 months going with letter of intent. How long, okay, there's your answer right there. How long does the community want to wait on an LOI and possibly lose a Christie's? Because they're putting these restaurants in with or without Chandlers Landing.
Oh, yeah.
They're putting
Yes,
them in.
yes, that's it.
They're very important, so what are you ready? What's the date? 6 months? 12 months? I don't know. You, the community, I'm representing you guys. You're.
45 days. Go.
Hey, he grew up here in Rockwell, so he has a little commitment to the Rockwell community.
Rick, refresh my memory. I thought I heard you say that the Christie's Council did not provide a letter of intent for a lease, but for a management contract?
They started out with a LOI for a lease. And
Then why did they go to a management contract?
because they were told that we have problems with our bylaws.
With leasing community property.
With lease.
So we're gonna be in the same situation as we were with Kemper? We're gonna have something with a management contract?
The difference is they'll be paying us and we won't be paying them.
Yeah.
And my other question is, we're not paying the Falcon Group, is that right?
I did not say that. I said that they said they'll go with a flat fee since they didn't bring Christie's to the table. But they'll handle it and probably give us a flat fee to handle that contract.
Okay, the information with Falcon Group is a little sketchy. I mean, I keep hearing they brought in 1 or 2 or 3 people
Okay?
to look.
I'll help you there. We were working with Christie's a long time, and all of a sudden, here comes Falcon Group. We've heard about them, just bits and pieces, in meetings. Now, Judy, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. We heard about, I'm getting all these names, Falcon. We heard about Falcon at periodic meetings, right? Well, the Falcon Group, they're out there and they want to come in and they can do this and they can do that. And no one ever said anything, but now we've got Christie's and we're getting LOIs, 1st of February. Well, Falcon Group's available. Here comes Falcon all of a sudden. And it's like, okay, and during all that, we've got negotiation going on with Christie. Not negotiation, I was told I'm not allowed to negotiate. So I did evaluations. I was evaluating. So I evaluated with Christie's, and I just told them, hey, this is the problem. So they came back with the data and reconfigured the whole offer. It went from a 27-page lease contract to a 9-page LOI management agreement.
They have lawyers look at that yet?
No, that's what we're talking about here.
Can't we just give it to them?
I've got a lawyer. I'll talk to him this afternoon, hoping I have
But
information.
our lawyers, the main lawyers. The lawyers that whatever it's protecting.
Those attorneys are HOA attorneys. They're not contract attorneys for restaurants.
Okay.
You need a specific, it's like going to a doctor. If your foot's hurt, you don't go to a cardiologist.
I got it. But some lawyer needs to get involved. Well, we're never gonna do this. And then when he looks at it, then it's gotta go.
It's getting very discouraging.
I'm sorry?
All this is very discouraging. And our hope for restaurants always. Right?
Go ahead.
What did she say?
That's getting discouraging. She says it's getting discouraging.
Okay, I
Getting
had a
discouraged? I
conversation
saw it
with
doing
one of
it.
the board members.
That's just the process is discouraging.
Yeah,
And
it is.
this is how like I feel their position is, and this is what I feel my position is. Not necessarily Rick's, but mine. They feel like if they go with a broker that can bring us a really strong corporate entity to come in and just take over, and they'll be stronger and they'll last longer. Well, how many times have they closed restaurants because that part of the community didn't do very good? So, oh no, we're going to open it down here and just do this and just this. There's no guarantee with a corporate company. And are they going to let us have our little birthday parties and do all our stuff we all like to do and have specials and then just because we're residents? I don't think so. I think Christie's will. I think the personal attention is what we need.
Yes.
I don't care if the corporate company gave us $5,000 more a month than they were. If we're not happy, it's not gonna happen.
That's a very good point, very good point.
I will say that Kemper was pretty stout, and Kemper had board members nervous because they had a contract that we could still be under, and we could still be liable for that contract legally. And we were able to get away from that, and we can't lose sight of that. But if you get another large company in here, they'll hold our feet to the fire. Kemper didn't, but they could. I mean, we still owe money. I know that. Last I heard.
Their attorneys would be our attorneys every day.
That's true.
We couldn't afford the attorney fees. I mean, without special assessment.
But they be in control.
Also, there is, okay, just to be sure, it's clear for her, right. There's two attorneys being consulted. One is to make sure, the HOA attorney is to make sure that we stay in line with HOA laws and rules. And our master declaration or whatever. The other attorney is making sure the contract makes sense. So in the meantime, I have talked to one of our realtors here in Chandlers, that's in Chestnut, and she said, I'm gonna give you 2 different really good restaurant realtors. That's what they did. They looked the contract over, or not contract, the offer, and they said, who's your lawyer that's helping you with it? And I told them who it was, and they said, he's the best one in Rockville, because he's going to do better than we can. He's much smarter than us.
That's so good. Oh, good. Okay, so now what, tell us all.
He was well known in downtown Dallas with a large wall. Fact is, the attorneys downtown wouldn't touch it.
They're saying they look over
Those things also say that they have more control than they are in this control.
Okay, so, and I didn't even know that he was talking. I mean, that was just
So, they have not yet received the letter of intent.
Who was that?
The lawyer.
They
have.
What does he say looks good? Or they hadn't given their opinion yet?
He put a call in to me this evening at 5:30, and I wasn't able, and he left a voicemail, and I called him back, he didn't answer, and I'll call him again.
Yeah, maybe you'll say, run to that, or say, put the brakes on. Yeah.
That's what I need. Look for.
That was good.
I think that's the it's harder to deal with yeah, I know you did, but I mean, you didn't. You had to.
We've got a segregated board, that's clearly evident. I've been in the building for the last 2 months, in and out, helping. I've seen the Christie group walk right past Julie, Rick, on their walkthroughs. Is there something wrong with that? I mean, the Falcon group, I'm sorry. There were 2 board members in the building weren't even invited to go through a walkthrough.
There is something wrong with that. Yes.
And Mr. Combs.
Yes.
That is wrong on all levels, in my opinion.
Yes, indeed.
I didn't hear that. What?
You don't even know who they were.
So much for what.
That's wrong. I mean, it's so segregated.
Yeah,
Blows me away.
that is outrageous. I mean, I want to say fucking outrageous, but I wouldn't dare swear.
Say it.
No, I'm not saying that in the microphone.
We'll record it.
I may not be able to line right here, but I'd like to show of hands of who thinks that board members that are not cooperating are waiting for Christie's to say, this is bullshit and I'm pulling out.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Okay, that's exactly what I think they're doing. They're trying to push it off and push it off and push it off. And everybody here, please show up Saturday, because they're not gonna give us time at the board meeting to talk. They're gonna rush us out of there.
No, they're not.
We
won't be.
They will.
Everybody bring a sack lunch.
But, we elected these people that want to go in. We didn't elect our president. So, you know, if he's the one holding it up, then he needs to hear all of us on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah. But, now granted, I didn't have anything against Greg Mars. I mean, I voted for him, you know, and I voted, you know. Granted, there were, we didn't have as many people as we should have had to pick from. But I think he was the better choice at the time of what we had. However, we didn't elect him as president, the board did. And at the time, that's what they felt was the right thing to do. But he is not. I asked him on Town Square to please come tonight and help fill us in on all of these questions, and he's not here.
Yeah.
You know, he knew that we all had these questions, and we've been talking about them, and he just keeps avoiding them. I do understand a lot of what Mark has said on Town Square. I don't agree with all of it, but I do agree with a lot of it. Something happened. Anyway, you know, they have to consider a lot of things. There's a lot of avenues they have to consider, and we've talked about this too. But Christie's group came in here, they told us that they would take on part of the expense of getting this kitchen going. They said they would take on part of the expense of redoing whatever they need to do to make this.
Their plan was to put sliders in here so you go outside and not have to go through the single door.
Yeah, they offer to do things that really, in my opinion, should be on us. But they're willing to put their money in here, and they said they have. And they said that we would have a place here. They said that they want to do what we want them to do, so because they know we're the ones that's going to support them. And we're the ones that are going to get people from the outside to come in. But they're willing to put marketing out there. They're willing to do the marketing on their you know, they've got the money, they've got the track record of their other restaurants that they have. You know, so there is no reason that that we should be sitting on our hands doing nothing with this.
Our legal scholar there, is there a provision in the HOA law that you have to impeach a member of the board?
Yes.
We need to impeach some that don't want to work.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Is there a provision?
No confidence.
I'll go back to what I said. I want everybody to work together.
I really do. It's not going to do anything.
I agree. I mean, we've got to work together, though. It's a community. It's like having two neighbors that don't get along.
Work together. It sounds like the president refuses to work together.
Well,
I mean, he's sitting on it for how long?
yeah. Well, you know, we're going to go with the due diligence, and it's like
Well,
two
what
neighbors.
about the balance, the money? Let's put that toward the debt that a previous board concerned.
Yeah, well, that's
And
the reason.
at this rate, we'll be able to pay that debt off in 3 years.
I understand your anger, I really do, because I've been at that anger for a long time, and physically I got to slow down.
But we can't pay down the debt with all that extra money you're talking about. And maybe we should.
Well, Rick, you know what, you don't make yourself feel ugly with this either. I mean, seriously.
Got what?
You can't make yourself feel ugly with this.
Don't get sick.
I'm sick of this, but yes, ma'am.
In summary, it sounds like what the community here wants you to do is possibly, I'm just summarizing, don't correct me if I'm wrong, put up a motion in front of the board, in front of
Did y'all see the
community.
last motion I put up?
Yeah. No, in front of everybody, and say a motion of whether or not we want to enter into an agreement with, number one, the Falcon Group. That's never been voted on. Yes or no? And take a vote.
It's a good time to do that too, because they just made their presentation last Wednesday.
Right.
It's a good time to do it.
Second motion is,
Cheers.
who wants to go forward with the LOI from the Christie's Group? And take that vote in front of the community on Saturday at the board meeting.
It might be subject to opinion from our lawyers. from the contract and whoever needs meeting. It doesn't matter, subject to approval by the attorneys and whatnot.
Mark, you know, are you allowed to do that, Mark, you know?
I didn't hear the,
Can the community make a motion for the board?
No, the board. No, the board. You
No, she's asking for us to make a motion like I did that time. We have to put it on the agenda.
yeah, it's gotta be on the agenda.
Right, Mark?
You can't call for a vote if it's not on the agenda.
That's what I'm saying. It's gotta be on the agenda.
So how soon are you
I
on the
mean,
agenda?
now, what is on the agenda are these roundtable events. So with the roundtable event, I have to look at it, but is it possible for me to make the motion based on this roundtable event? Exactly what you're talking about.
Well, why not?
It would, maybe you would say it was on the agenda.
When, my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that they're asking for you to make a motion for a vote among the board members. Am I incorrect in that?
That's right. If that's legal.
Oh, yeah, you can make a motion for a vote for,
At the roundtable point of the agenda. It's got to be on the agenda to vote, right?
right, yeah.
And
No, but I mean, as you confer amongst each other with e-votes and everything, you can make a motion.
Okay, I'll put it together on an e-vote and let them know it's going to be put out there.
I mean, it's really surprising to me that there's been no conferring among the board about the Falcon Group. That's just astounding to me. I don't know.
We finally listened to them on last Wednesday. Tomorrow will be 1 week ago. We listened to the Falcon make their presentation. And it was a telephone. It was a telephone conference, and only four board members showed up.
Okay, well, wait a second. So,
Three didn't.
Rick, we were all invited to come and be present for the presentation from Christie's. Why wasn't we all?
That's something I've maintained, that, we want to talk to them as a community, whoever it is.
You know, with this said, you've got to get to this dance to understand all the politics that are going on. If you don't have a group that has, hey, I'm going to be your mentor, and I'm going to show you this is what you need legality-wise to set. Everybody, like prison food, keeps it to themselves here. So it seems like you guys are working your you-know-what off, and I know as a president what I had to go against the past group to try even getting information. It's like pulling nose hairs. You're constantly going, Christ, that hurts. So it's a lot of work. It's easy to say, what if? But you gotta, I give it to both Julie and Rick, it's a pain in the ass doing this shit. Because it consumes your whole damn day, and it takes over, and then you got everybody, what the hell? So, I don't know what the answer is, but it's work, and I can't understand why 2 or 3 people would not look at a sure thing and say, hey, we have a group that's going to pay us X. It's a simple contract, and they keep doing it, but I have no idea. And again, I'm surprised as president, and I could say this before, I never try to say anything I would say, but you show up at every damn meeting. And as a president, this is important. He has his ass here.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not. He's dodging the bullet. So, thank you, both of you guys.
Speaks volumes.
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming. It's going to be with numbers. I don't see another way of doing it. If we're not on key with this, then that's fine.
Okay, I don't know if this will help, but does anyone here have time to get out on their dog cart and get some names and put on here? Like I said, it's just, we're just trying to get maybe some more names on here. Does anybody have time to get on their dog cart and go get me some more?
I have big plans.
Because of this petition.
Yeah, it's a petition.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not going to hurt it.
It's gonna matter when Christie.
What is the
Saturday. That's what it's gonna matter. When you go to the next page,
Yeah, it would be evidence we could have.
Yes.
Moderator, I make a motion, we all show up.
Could we post it on town square that it's in the front and just leave it in the front and anyone can come by and sign it?
Rich,
Yeah, Jan.
if you are, if you're going to reference this Tuesday night. If you are allowed to reference this Tuesday night roundtable, can you not just make that association with the board on Saturday that within the board meeting, or this roundtable meeting, this was the main big issue, and this is what everybody wants to do. So tie it in. You can't directly confront them, but if you can tie it in with what
That's kind of
Yeah,
on my
nobody's
I didn't know if there- can't make it change. That's a good idea.
Okay, any other questions? Any other comments?
I think we
Everybody's got a voice here.
peanut butter sandwiches.
Here you go, Paul.
I just want to summarize, I think what I You know what, it's all about the board meeting. The president has the right to include or exclude an item on the agenda. So it's my understanding that you're going to request the item to appear on this Saturday's agenda. And the item is called status of the yacht club discussion, something like that.
Yes, sir.
And-
Part of
and
the,
that's
part of
the
the
next-
round table. I get this kind of a round table concept.
Okay, but rather than just roundtable, I think it should include the verbiage of the status of the yacht club contract and going forward, some verbiage. So once the president approves that item to be on the agenda, you have the right to make a motion in that regard. Okay?
He's already.
Well, then you can't do it in Saturday unless you get him to change the agenda.
You do an add-on to the agenda. Add-on.
The hurdles.
I don't know.
The HOA legal department agreed that you could lease it, and you got over the hurdle of a master agreement to do something with this facility. If you were to call the vote today of the HOA board, would you get more than 4?
I'm being told we can't. I was told we can earlier today.
You can have
I can
enough,
get 4 people that want to go into the net.
that's all you need to know. So that's the status of this deal.
That's where I'm at, and the only way I'll know is to put that together. I was hoping to have the information from the law firm, my law firm, the David Stokes.
Right, right.
I was wanting to have that, which I'm gonna talk to them in the morning. If I get that, that'll give me even more ammo to go to the board, to the rest of the board, say, okay, we've got the restaurant contract attorney lined up. And then because he's gonna need money. Right now, he's working on contract. Now, to move forward, he will want money to review all of our work that we put into this contract.
And that requires a board resolution.
That will require a resolution to move
Right.
forward.
Right. So it's my understanding that you get all that worked out, and the status, and there's a lot of good ideas about here tonight, but we can't negotiate a contract.
Right.
If all that was worked out, there's at least 4 members of the current board, and that's all you need to pass the resolution to move forward with whatever agreement is in place. Is that right?
That's correct.
That's where we stand.
That's where we stand, I believe.
Then we should be.
Who else? Okay, Shannon.
If the attorneys get this all worked out, are we still leaving for paying vouchers of black people?
I'm not. I mean, that's me. You get attorneys, I don't know what Falcon Group and when it's certainly on.
It wasn't really a question, I was just asking if that thing or the petition or whatever would actually help us, then could we just put it up in the front building and say, and put on town square, anyone who wants to sign it, you can come sign it, because it's not like anyone can erase names off of it. I just saying if you wanted to get more people, instead of going on a golf.
But nobody comes here because it's
No,
cold.
no, no, the front building, like when you exit,
Oh, at the
the
office?
front office, right in the door or something.
Oh, I don't know if you can do that.
Because everyone has to pass by there, it's not like it can be over there.
I don't know.
Hey, how you doing? It's good to see you, brother. Did you take your trip and get back already?